much for being here. If you could please take your seats, we're about to start our program. Good morning, good morning. Please, everyone, find your seats. We're ready to begin our program. Thank you so much.
Hello, good morning, everyone. A great morning. I'm John Gary Herrera, Senior VP for Public Engagement, and it is my honor to welcome our partners from the Federal Transit Administration to San Antonio. Yes. And to particularly welcome them to the VIA Metropolitan Metro Center, as we call the VMC. This is our nerve center. This is where the magic happens every morning and every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are also gathered right along the corridor that we're going to be celebrating today as well. This is the San Pedro Avenue. This is the corridor for the VIA Green Line. The Green Line will connect people from north to south, of course, along San Pedro, and it is one of the oldest transit corridors in the city. As a matter of fact, there's still some carriage stops that are still on this route from the day that it was a horse and drawn carriage type of avenue for our community. We thank and again welcome our partners from the FTA here today for this very important announcement, and we're one step closer to realizing this transformative project for the people of San Antonio and Bexar County. This is also the place where our board of directors do their business right here behind us. And we also have our citizens that come and talk to us on a monthly basis on things that we can do better. But they are just as excited, both our board and the public, about what we're going to be building here along this Green Line. So again, we want to welcome and thank everybody. I'm going to recognize some special guests that are here today. We're going to go through some elected officials that are here today. First, we have Councilwoman and former trustee board member, Marina Alderete Gavito. San Antonio City Councilwoman Adriana Rocha Garcia. San Antonio City Councilwoman Melissa Cabella Havadar. Yes. We'd also like to thank our federal delegation and the offices, and I know we have some staffers from the offices, but when we call out the office, if y'all just could stand up and we can acknowledge you. We have representatives from Congressman Henry Cuellar's office, Congressman Greg Casar's office, Congressman Joaquin Castro's office, and Senator John Cornyn's office. Thank you all for being here on this momentous occasion. We also want to recognize our board members, our board of trustees. Joining us here today are Vice Chair Laura Cabanilla, Secretary Athalie Malone, Trustee Javier Paderas, Trustee Adrian Reyna, Trustee Lewis Cooper, and I think I saw him earlier, but Trustee Leo Gomez. And now to our partners and our guest here today from the FTA. Let's give a especially warm welcome, San Antonio welcome to our partners from the FTA. Our Region 6 Administrator Gail Lissy. Public Affairs Specialist Monica Russo. Oh, there she is. Planner Tony Abigail. Engineer Troy Thomas. And then the acting chief of the CIG Program Development Division, Shabu Odikar. Thank you all for being here today. And please join me in welcoming now. We're going to get into the program speakers, and then they're going to come up and say a few words. First, just the panel behind me here, as we call them. A round of applause for our county judge, Peter Sakai. Of course, we got our mayor, Ron Nurnberg. Our VIA board chairman, Fernando Reyes. Our president and CEO, Jeff Arndt. And the FTA deputy administrator, Veronica Vanterpool. So let's bring the judge up first and ask him to say a few words. Judge Sakai, thank you.
Let me welcome everybody here. You know, Mr. Vanderpool, only in South Texas, especially in San Antonio, you'd be like, is this winter? Yeah, this is South Texas winter. I feel like I got to take off my coat and tie and put on some shorts and slur and be right involved. So, but understand, I think this evening, tomorrow, it'll be icy cold. So I hope you brought some warm things to wear if you're staying for any extended period of time. Well, let me welcome everybody. My name is Judge Peter Sakai. I'm your county judge. And it's my honor and privilege to be here at this press conference to recognize, obviously, Jeff Arndt, who will soon be, or is the past VIA president CEO, John Gary Herrera, who is going to be our incoming VIA president and CEO. I also want to say a shout out for the VIA executive teams, the employees. I know there are employees here, especially those that belong to the union, that are participants in the success. And I really wanted to say thank you to VIA from the top to the people that directly provide service of what quality service you are. And that's the reason why I'm a proud sponsor and to be a proud contributor to the success of VIA, because they're just a well-run business operation. So let's give the entire VIA team. Okay, I don't want to leave everybody out there because, Judge, what about us? And I also want to recognize the board chair, Fernando Reyes, and the entire board. And I understand we've got an incoming new board chair and vice chair. And I just want to say that the leadership of VIA is in good hands. And that I also want to recognize Mayor Ron Nurnberg for his leadership at the city of San Antonio as mayor, and myself as county judge, because this project and the next project to come immediately thereafter is really a city, county, and federal collaboration. And this is an example of us all working together, especially our congressional delegation and the staff that are representing our elected officials, to our city officials, to our county officials. This is what happens when we come together to communicate, to collaborate, and to coordinate. Great things happen. And so, Veronica, I hope that you will see the power of this community and what great things happen when we all come together. So this is a great day for Bexar County and all of its residents. I'm really proud that the green line, now, Jeff, I have to, green, really? We have to call it green, but I'll take it. I'm sure. Oh, green means go. Oh, okay, see? Sometimes you got to explain things to me. All right, like green, all right. And so the green line, we know, will be a game changer that transforms lives, especially the people who use our bus service. It will be a boon to the riders, who will see dramatically reduced wait times for buses of just 10 minutes. Let us remember that what the bus service does is not just take people from one part of the town to the other. One of my conversations with John Gary was, he says, Judge, there are so many people that use it just to get within the city. And then it struck me. Who are they? They are our seniors. They are our students. They are disabled. There are people that have no means of transportation and mobility. So let's not really get focused on how many people in the bus are, so to speak, but what service and what return on investment we get from our investment from VIA. And I just want to say thank you to the Biden administration and the federal government for this big collaboration. Let's give them another round of applause. As we know, and this is Ms. Vanderpool, this is my second year as county judge, and being immediately brought into the VIA rapid transit conversation was the fact that I've insisted not only just be a bus line, but it be a means of economic development in our community. So I'm expecting us to incorporate all those that are small businesses, any businesses up and down that north-south line of the city to see how we can also improve our community, not just for the bus riders, but for the businesses that are along the route. It will be a win for economic development as new opportunities arise for business owners, large and small, who want to be part of this new connector. In the words of management consultant Peter Drucker, quote, "If you want something new, you have to stop doing something old." And that's what VIA is doing today. The 12-mile Green Line is something brand new in our current mobility infrastructure. The old way of moving people from one place to another is being replaced with a rapid transit system that will link the airport at the north end to the downtown via San Pedro Avenue, and then on to the south side, to the Missions, to the Brook City base. We are grateful to the federal government. Without their participation, this project would not have been possible. Right behind the Green Line, I like this, comes the Silver Line. All right, I like that. That's like, well, you know that one. This will provide a link between the east and west sides of the county through a similar rapid bus line. The reason why I have a shout out, because Bexar County is contributing $102 million to that much needed connector. And I'm proud to have supported that and got that initiative passed in Commissioner's Court. One of the side benefits of these two projects is the 4,000 to 5,000 jobs that will be created in building these projects to reality. Some of these are the people who will be building the, 26 new bus stations, 41 new platforms just for the Green Line. Bexar County is taking a major step forward with this project. I'm delighted it is happening now as our community experiences such exponential growth. We know that down in the south side, that's booming down there, and we need to make sure we meet the needs of our community, like those individuals that have to use the bus line, and encouraging those that should use the bus line so that we can get more traffic off the road. How about that? So the enhanced quality of life will lead to for so many people, makes it one of the major civic accomplishments in this decade. Thank you to everyone who have helped to make this day possible. God bless you all. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to y'all.
Thank you, Judge, and so glad you pointed out the great weather that we're having for our friends coming in. By the way, this is the kind of weather, this is the winter weather that I think, and our chamber president, Jeff Webster's here, is a chamber commerce type of day that we have. But this is also why we put up with our summers, is because we get these kind of winters. Next up to speak, a great partner of ours, Mayor Ron Nemberg.
Good morning. Thank you, John Gary. First, I want to say thank you to the voting public of San Antonio through their vote. Let's give the voting public a round of applause for showing their confidence in their neighbors through this vote that's enabled this project. And congratulations also, John Gary, on your selection as VIA's next CEO. Where'd you go? There you go. We are all hopeful and confident in the continued success of this agency and also yours at the helm. It's my honor to be part of this moment for San Antonio and for VIA. I want to thank my colleagues on the City Council for also putting their effort into enabling this project. And it's been my privilege to lead this city during this transformative time, not only for public transportation, but for economic development, for our growing workforce, for innovation, education, for housing, and for all the things that VIA helps us connect with in our community. For mobility in the broadest sense, not just moving people physically, but moving them socioeconomically. This is a moment in the history of our city that has been planned and supported by many people for many, many years. Extraordinary people in San Antonio, beyond who know what it takes to get here, who know what it takes to see a need and make a plan, to envision a more equitable San Antonio tomorrow, and to connect a San Antonio today, to assemble a team and envision a win, to build a bridge between local and federal partners, between engineering and engagement, between our history and a much brighter future. So to each of you, and all of you in some way, shape, or form, and thank you, Judge, for pointing out our operators who continue to make VIA one of the most successful service-oriented agencies in the country. To each of you, thank you. Thank you for seeing San Antonio the way it can be, the way we know it should be, and now we are confident to say the way it finally will be. Because you shared our vision for a city with everything it needs to be not just a world-class city, but a sustainable and equitable city for everyone, including a modern mass transit system, and including bold leadership to take the next steps towards that greatness, including our partners at the city and the county, at VIA, and of course at FTA. I, like you, Judge, and Fernando, and all the members of the board of VIA, have spent countless hours walking the halls of DOT, and over the last 4 years, they have taken notice of San Antonio because of what I mentioned at the top, because our public continues to come out and support and invest in the people of this city. And so when it happens that the FTA gets behind a project, that's when we start turning dirt. So we are working tirelessly now towards a common goal, and that is not just to build a mass transit system, it's to uplift the community that we love and we serve. They say that change is inevitable, but I will tell you after 8 years as mayor, and I will affirm, the right kind of change is not inevitable. Change happens often when you least expect it. It happens when you may not want it. But the right kind of change happens when you plan for it, and you invest in it, and you believe in it, and when the public says, yes, we believe in it too. Everyone on this stage, and each of you here today, helped plan and invest, and you believed in this next chapter for our city. And I will tell you that we wrote it together. It's made possible with the continued support of our federal partners who help make history with the first and largest grant ever of its kind to ensure that we can change the way we move in San Antonio. So I will close with this. I've been thinking about this adage a lot lately. They say that a society grows enlightened when old men, and I'll say old women too, plant seeds for trees under which they will never sit. So Jeff and Fernando, I'm not calling you old, but we know that you're moving on to your own next chapters. I want to say thank you publicly for your leadership and for your vision for San Antonio. You should be proud of your accomplishments. They will reverberate. The seeds that you have planted for mobility in our city will long endure as the building blocks for the next generation of leadership. And I want to say to the next generation of VIA leadership, we will stand with you and we will work with you every step along the way. So for all of us, as they said in the campaign, let's keep San Antonio moving together. And remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go together, if you want to go far, go together. And say it with me, if you want to do both, go with VIA.
Thank you, Mayor. In fact, Mayor, I think there's a T-shirt that says that, as a matter of fact. Thanks to the Mayor. Next, call up to the podium our chairman, our VIA chairman, Fernando Reyes. Fernando.
Thank you, John Gary. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce my wife, Norma Reyes, who has been with me together for over 50 years, 55 years, and is the reason that I'm able to do all these things, because she takes care of a lot of things that I don't have time to do. But thank you so much. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to, as a point of privilege, to say that who would have thought that a kid from the South Side went to Harlandale High School, took the bus at 15 years old to his first job as a busboy at Naples Italian Restaurant on Broadway. Who would have thought that would have that opportunity to be leading that vehicle, that movement that helped me get started in my career and my job? So that's why VIA has always held a close part of my heart, because of the things that they did and the wonderful job that all the people did, especially the frontline people, the people that are out there meeting the public every day, the people that have to work when it's raining and when it's cold. Those are the people that we need to thank. So I want to thank them first and foremost. And of course, the VIA staff has been tremendous with my 4 years here. I couldn't ask for a better staff. Rachel, where are you, Rachel? Thank you for everything you do for me. Lauren, thank you all very much. They're just great people. So today, I'm proud to join you today on behalf of the board members, and also to acknowledge the past board members who in 2020 started on this road, and our past chair, Hope Andrade, who is with us today. I'm not sure if I saw her. She couldn't come? Okay, well, just so we acknowledge Hope Andrade, who really kind of started this movement, helped get the money and the funds and the program that we needed to get this program where we are today. At this time, I'd like to ask the board members who have joined us to please stand and be recognized. I also want to congratulate and thank our past board members who are here. I see Bob. I know Bob was here. And there's some other ones, I'm sure. Will you please stand and be recognized? Because you also are part of this hard work as well. Thank you. Oh, there's Marina. Marina was very helpful to me when I first started. She was my vice chair, and kind of had to lean on her a couple of times to find out what the heck is going on here. But she was always very good and pleasant to work with. Thank you. And now, of course, she's one of our leaders in our community, and I look forward to seeing wonderful things from you. And the reason I asked the board to stand is because without their vision and strength, this would not happen. This is a reality because of them, and I want to thank you. My work at VIA began in 2021. This is my last as chairman, and we will welcome the new board officers in January. Please join me in congratulating Chair-elect Laura Cabanilla, Vice Chair-elect Leo Gomez. I don't know if I saw Leo here or not. And somebody who's been very helpful to me as well, Secretary Athlete Malone. Thank you, Ms. Malone. And someone who also is a tremendous leader and is willing to work anything he can do to make the board stronger and better. And that's our Assistant Secretary of Board, Louis Cooper. Will you please stand? Thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to seeing all that you can continue to accomplish for VIA and the community with whom we humbly serve. The past 5 years have been incredibly busy for our board and our staff. We began in 2020 with a lot of energy and optimism and a clear vision for what came next. When the pandemic hit, it slowed us down, but it didn't stop us. We continued to push for what we knew our community needed, and the voters delivered a big victory for mobility and for each other. What started as a moment to pivot to an essential work became the name for the more focused plan and our mentor, Keep San Antonio Moving. That's what the VIA Rapid Line, Green Line is all about. And the project Imagine under Keep SA Moving are designed to do that. And it's going to move us in the right direction. Now, if you thought in the past 5 years we've been busy, I can tell you right now that the next 5 years will even be more busy. Way to go, Laura. And I know that you are up for the challenge, and the community is ready for you. With your help, we will get there together. And my last word is, you know it's easy when you take the bus. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We also have another guest here from the FTA, Paul Kincaid. Paul, Associate Administrator for Communications. Paul, wanted to recognize you for that. Now coming to the podium is our CEO and President, Jeff Hart.
You know, planting those seeds is a lot harder on your back than you would think. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, let me start out by saying that today is a dream come true, and so now you are all part of my dream, and actually it's better than I dreamed. It's very difficult when you follow these three gentlemen to say anything new or original, but in my dream, I do say those things, and so I'm going to say them anyhow, because it's the only chance I have. So first of all, to John Gary, to the judge and mayor and Chair Reyes, thank you so much. And what I would say to all of you, with a lineup of leaders like that, how can you possibly fail, huh? We are so blessed. Now, looking out on this campus and the future Green Line corridor, it's remarkable to think of how different this area will be. Not just 1 or 2 years from now, but 5 or 10 years from now, particularly with a lot of the activity in the city in partnership with VIA is involved in planning for transit-oriented development. Now, I'm honored to be here today and look back on all the collaboration, advocacy, and plain old hard work that brought us together. And make no mistake, though we are celebrating a historic moment today, we are also planting the seeds of change for the community we serve. Future generations may not remember our names. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee you they won't. But we know that they will reap the benefits of what we have sown, designed, fought for, and delivered. We are standing in the footprint of historic transit right here in San Antonio, and that is carrying us both from our past into a pathway for modern transit service. And they will carry us into a bright future. So today we mark a truly historic milestone. It will be, no doubt, many of us on the road it will lead us, no doubt, for a more mobile community in San Antonio. Now, first and foremost, this could not have been possible, as has been mentioned earlier, without the support of this community that guides us and inspires us and lends their voice as they advocate for mobility. Their support of VIA's 2020 ballot initiative at a 68% approval level equipped us to advance transit for the entire community. Without that positive vote, we would not be here today. So cheers to the entire community. Let's hear it for San Antonio. Among us, we have a veritable army of transit professionals, champions, and officials who dedicate their life and work to our shared mission of a more connected community that rises and offers opportunity for better quality of life for all citizens. So I would like to recognize our many partners and ask you to help me recognize their contribution. I was thinking about this morning, actually, that when you see the rolling credits, particularly in a film that has a lot of special effects, you see those lists of names, they roll by and there are just so many, and you think, how could you possibly read them? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is make some summaries, and then we'll recognize everybody in joint. So at the end of recognizing everyone, I'll ask you to hold your applause. This is a test. If you do applaud, we'll have to ask you to leave. Yep. And at the end, I'll ask everyone that's in the groups that I mentioned to stand to be recognized, and you will see what it takes to put a project like this together. So first of all, clearly, our FTA partners, represented by Deputy Administrator Veronica Vanterpool and our Region 6 Administrator Gail Lissy. That team is incredible, and we could not have asked for better partners. As an aside, let me congratulate Shuba for her team leader for Via Rapid Transit Project for recently accepting the Distinguished Team Award on behalf of the FTA team from the U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Congratulations, what an honor. Because that is such an honor. Oh, look at everything I planted is falling. Because it's such an honor, I'll let that applause go. All right, so congratulations and thanks to the FTA team for their continued excellence. And I want to say that at working on this project, I now believe it when people say, hey, we're from the government and we're here to help. You guys have proven that that is not a joke, it's a reality. Thank you for that. Now I thank our elected officials, the teams they represent, Mayor Nirenberg and the city, Judge Peter Sakai and the county, our partner agencies, Flatiron Herzog, Hill International, HNTB, WSP, Parsons Transportation Group, Pape Dawson Engineering, Bowman Consulting Group, Cobb Fenley, Infrastructures LLC, KGB, now known as K. Harvey Brandt Partners, and many others who are partners on their teams, our board and our leadership staff, the board led by Chair Fernando Reyes, Tramel Brown and our transportation team, John Gary Herrera, public engagement team. I'm trying to go fast before it rains. Rod Sanchez, planning department, John Clamp, administration team, Bonnie Prosser Elder, our chief counsel, Manjiri Alkotkar, who is our project director. Yes. And Art Herrera, who is her deputy, and so many more who have done this. Please, all of you who are represented in any of those, please stand and let's hear a round of applause. And you can applaud each other. And I thank every single one of you from the bottom of my heart. Now, just a reminder to all of us, this is just the beginning. We've begun work on the East-West Silver Line due to that contribution of $100 million, local dollars, by the Bexar County, Texas Commissioners Court under the leadership of Judge Sakai. So expect to be here in a couple years for a similar occasion. We'll try and keep the rain away that time. It's now my privilege to officially welcome and introduce Deputy Administrator for the Federal Transit Administration, Veronica Vanterpool. I've had the pleasure to work with Veronica and her predecessor, Nuria Fernandez, these past many years and witness firsthand their dedication and expertise for our industry. See, everybody is excited about Veronica. I'll let this pass. Because look at that, the FTA sets the world on fire. I could not be more pleased to have Veronica and her team here. In fact, let the record show two things. First of all, the day I met Veronica, it took me 2 seconds to fall in love with her. I'm sorry it took so long. Secondly, I have invited Veronica to come visit us many times in the past. I want to say you would have been very welcome here without bringing a federal grant, but you're even more welcome here with a federal grant. And so please help me welcome Veronica Vanterpool.
Buenos días. Es mi primera vez en San Antonio y me gustó la temperatura, pero ahora no me gusta el viento. But I come prepared just in case with my hair tie in case it gets a little too windy. So I want to start by thanking John Gary and congratulating him on being the incoming president to lead this very strong team at VIA. And I want to congratulate Jeff Arndt for being the leader and the visionary that he has been. Jeff, you have had a vision for 11 years at the helm, but for many more years before that, as a member of this community and a resident of this state, for the transformational power of public transportation. And thank you for leading this team to this moment. You have had a stellar career in the transportation industry, and what a wonderful way to say goodbye to this work with this Milestone project. And I also want to just take a moment to note, as a Latina, to acknowledge the historic moment of John Gary being the first Latino president. Wait 1 second, you all. I said, I put my hair back. We always come prepared for these things. FTA is always ready. So I also want to thank the partners that we have on stage. I want to add my thanks to the many that have already been shared. So I want to thank the San Antonio Mayor, Ron Nuremberg. I want to thank Bexar County Judge Sakai. I want to thank VIA's board chair, Fernando Reyes, all the elected officials from our congressional delegation to state and local elected officials. I want to thank the VIA board and staff, because with your support, we have gotten to this moment. And I want to thank the workforce of VIA. So if you are a frontline employee, if you are a woman or a man who operates a bus, please raise your hand or stand. Thank you for your service. And thank you for choosing transit and public transportation as your career choice. In fact, my team and I, we rode the 4 bus here. Here's my proof. And we took it at Commerce and Bowie. And every time we are in a community, we're riding public transportation. Because if we're investing in your community, if we're investing in your system, we want to see that investment. And we want to see what our dollars are going to be put toward. And anytime we are in a local community, we have to give thanks not only to you all for being champions of public transportation, but to the talented, dedicated, and committed FTA staff. And I want to start by thanking Regional Administrator Gail Lissy. She and her team have led you all to this moment. It is because of their technical assistance, their support, their guidance, that we are here celebrating this milestone. And I want to add my thanks to Shuba as well for being a team lead and helping to get this project through our FTA construction pipeline and making sure that this is an investment that's going to get as most money as it can. So this is a big moment for us too, and I appreciate transitions. Jeff is going through one, I will be going through one very soon, so it's an important moment for me to be celebrating here with you all. The $268 million in federal support through the grant we are signing today will help launch your first ever bus rapid transit project. The federal government is contributing 56% of this project cost, but you all are contributing and supporting 43%. Yeah, we come in with the big bucks, but we can't bring our dollars unless you all are making a decision and a choice to support these projects as well. We are excited to be here to keep San Antonio moving. And with this new bus rapid transit project, with 10-minute headways on the weekends, what that means is you're waiting 10 minutes for the next bus. That is transformational. That will keep San Antonio moving. So Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who's my boss, he often talks about building good projects well. And over the last few years, we have seen bus rapid transit projects take off across this country. In fact, in our construction pipeline, FTA's construction pipeline, 66% of the projects that we are funding are bus rapid transit projects. So it's exciting to see another and a first in this community take shape. So the VIA Rapid Green Line will provide fast and frequent service for people throughout the city, with 25 stations and close to 8 miles of dedicated bus lanes. And I want to pause on that, dedicated bus lanes. That means buses are not competing with vehicular traffic and with cars, so they are prioritizing the passengers on that bus. And you all, as residents of the city and leaders of the city, have made a decision to allocate your street space to prioritize bus riders, and that's important. Also, with transit signal prioritization, you're giving a faster ride to all those people who are using the bus. So it's going to make commute times a lot shorter, but that gives people time back in their day-to-day, and that's important. So once the Rapid Green Line is completed, residents and visitors will be able to reach San Antonio International Airport with a one-seat ride along the corridor. And they'll be able to hop on board to ride to the Baptist Medical Center for healthcare appointments. And visitors can ride the Rapid Bus to the Riverwalk and the Alamo, saving in parking costs and time behind the wheel. I learned that San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the US. You all know this. And that's incredibly important to invest in public transportation as this city grows and as this county grows and as the residents of the state continue to increase. Transit is good for communities because it reduces traffic congestion, it improves air quality, especially when you have low emission or no emission buses that are running along a corridor. So part of the advanced rapid transit system, the Rapid Green Line could not come at a more opportune time because the San Antonio area is experiencing explosive growth with an additional 1 million residents expected to move to the region by 2040. In 20 years, the population is going to increase 45%. And you all have made a decision to take actions now in preparation for that sustainable growth. Coming with that growth is an additional 800,000 jobs and an anticipated 82% increase in travel time for single occupancy vehicles, meaning that there's going to be more traffic congestion in this region. But because you've made an investment in public transportation and in bus rapid transit, you're going to see more benefits than other communities that have not made those investments. Today, 60% of VIA riders use its transit services to get to work, and 58% do not have a car in their household. 58% do not have a car in their household. So they're relying on these services to get around. They're relying on the service provided by VIA to be active members of the economy, active members of their community, active members with their families. We need to make these investments. In fact, currently, San Antonio households spend 23% of your income on transportation costs, which is higher than the national average of 17%. But public transportation reduces those costs and keeps more money in your pockets. The Rapid Green Line project will also include safety elements. So it's adding sidewalks and improving pedestrian crossings and managing roadway turns, which can be lethal in some dangerous intersections. So this contributes to your local goals of making transit access safer by reducing transit and traffic collisions. The Rapid Green Line is the latest great example of BRT, which has redefined our expectations of the type of experience and service a city bus can offer. A lot of communities automatically think of rail as synonymous with public transportation. But here in the United States, we're using our roadways built to support a car culture to create a new cost-efficient way for people to get around and to attract a new generation of riders. Bus rapid transit routes have transformed communities across the country, and we've supported these systems in Utah, Washington State, Indiana, Connecticut, all across the country. And I know bus rapid transit is going to bring these benefits here because we are on site in communities all across the United States, and we see the benefit of our investments. I'm born and raised in New York City. I relied on public transportation growing up and to get around. I believe in this work. In fact, FTA's mission is to improve America's communities through public transportation, and I see that every day. So I want to thank you for the vision. I want to thank you for the commitments. I want to thank you for your dedication to this work, to public transportation, but really to each other and to your community, because you have made an investment in connecting people to what matters. So congratulations on this milestone.
Okay, so, in true Texas fashion for our friends from the north, we have a saying in Texas, if you don't like the weather, stick around, it'll change. And it did. But now we're going to move into a ceremonial part of this program where we're going to ask our folks that are up here on the stage to get a pin from Jeff, and we're asking y'all to sign the full funding grant agreement that we are here today to celebrate. Gentlemen, Veronica? And time for photos as well. that, man. All right. We're going to do closing remarks.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to close out with two things. First of all, Veronica, if you would talk to your boss and let him know that in San Antonio there is a Hoosier like him. I grew up 20 minutes away from where he grew up, and we're both Notre Dame graduates, so it proves that there are good things that come out of Indiana. Tell him that. And tell him that I appreciate that I've been a great role model for him. I want to wish everybody the happiest holiday season. What more? I mean, this is just so great today, right now. The rest of the holiday season is going to be tough to compare, but enjoy yourself. Thank you for being here for a historic, monumental day in the history of VIA and San Antonio. Thank you all. Yeah.